Hello again, guys. Okay, so now this video is your actual video lesson for this week. So first of all, let's go back to the agenda that was posted for March 16th, which was the week before spring break. And it was the week that all the craziness started. So let's go back to that. Let me just talk to you a little bit about that there. All right, so when you looked at your agenda for March 16th, you saw that it talked about building DNA and it had some video lessons there. Now, I realize that because school closed, you guys did not get those packets. They were not, you weren't able to get them because everything happened so quickly. So that's okay. What we're going to do is, since you guys do not have access to these papers, I'm going to have us just kind of do it by hand at home. The purpose of this activity was to get you guys to just build DNA as a good refreshing of our memory about the parts of the DNA. And then that's going to lead us into DNA replication. Okay, so let's do a little bit of review first. So I need you to do me a favor, guys. Go get some good old-fashioned paper and a pencil or pen. Now, I'm using printer paper only because it doesn't have lines on it. But if you don't have printer paper at home, you can use lined paper. It doesn't matter as long as you have some paper to write on, okay? I'm just using a pen. Feel free to use a pencil. If you love colors, if you have color pencils at home, use color pencils. Make it pretty for yourself. Make it fun. But what we're going to do together, I'm going to have you guys send me pictures of afterwards so that I can give you a grade, okay? So go ahead and get your paper and pencil, and I'm going to switch my camera. So just hold on 1 second for me. Okay, guys, I'm back. So you should have your paper and a writing utensil. So first things first, let's try to refresh our memory. What did we learn about DNA? So this is going to be all about DNA structure. Okay, that's what we're going to be focusing on, DNA structure. So let's see if we remember. So first of all, there were some like major parts. So if you guys remember, we had circles. Okay, I'm going to put a little P here because that represented a phosphate group. Remember that? Kind of remember that a little bit? Then we had the little house tops, little pentagons. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you have 5 sides. Those were our deoxyribose sugars. Remember that? Oop, can you guys see that? No, you can't. Sorry. Deoxyribose sugar. Sometimes they call it a pentose. Remember we called it a pentose sometimes? Pentose. Did I spell that right? Then we had, I just used a rectangle. Those are our nitrogen bases. Remember that? Okay. So I'm gonna have a little key here. All right. So let's see if we remember how to build them. Okay, so let's come over here now. All right. So I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna start on the 5' end. Remember we talked about 5', 3'? See if you guys remember. Okay, so we're gonna do a phosphate first. And then at an angle, I'm gonna do my deoxyribose sugar. Okay, if you remember, the 5' meant that the phosphate was attached at the 5th carbon. And remember how we counted it? We said 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. There's one that's kind of upward. And so the phosphate here is connected at that 5th. So this here represents the 5' or the 5th carbon. Okay. Then we do a nitrogen base. Remember we connected it kind of like that. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to kind of draw one end of our DNA first, and then we'll put the letters in, and then I'm going to have you guys do the other half as part of your assignment for this week. Okay, so let's do this side first, all right? So that's my 5'. Okay, so now at the 3', which is this one here, I'm going to connect my next phosphate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a phosphate here. Here's my circle. Notice how it's angled. See how it's at an angle? Yeah. Do your deoxyribose sugar here. Again, angled. So it's like staggered, almost like a zigzag. It's like a zigzag. So this is going to attach to the 3'. It's going to attach to the 5'. You see how it's kind of zigzaggy? Zigzag, zig, kind of like that. See that, guys? So let's see, how many should we do? How about we do 3? We'll do 6. How about that? We'll do 6. I should have made this about the same length as the one above. Try to keep them even. All right, so let's do our next one. I'm going to do my phosphate. I'm trying to do this as even as possible. Here's my little pentose. 3', 5', nitrogen base. That's 3. Let's do 3 more. Okay, we're going to do 6 total. P, house top, that's my deoxyribose sugar. 3', 5', the nitrogen base. Phosphate group. Guys, and as you're writing this, say it over and over again. The act of saying it as you're writing is actually a memory aid, okay? This helps you to remember the structure of your DNA. So 3, so see how I'm saying it as I'm drawing it? So 3', oh, where's my little deoxyribose sugar? 5', nitrogen base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more. Phosphate group, deoxyribose sugar, 3', 5', nitrogen base. Okay? So now you should have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So let's get a code. Let's see what letter. I'll make this an A, and I'm obviously just making this up. C, T, G, I don't know, C, and then how about another A? All right, that's your code. Okay, so now what is going to be part of your work for this week? To do the other half. So I will do the first drawing for you, but you have to finish the rest and do the matching code. Okay, so for my 3' side, I'm going to put 3' up here. Remember, everything's going to be reversed. Now, if you're really talented, you can probably try to do it this way. So you can do it, I would do it like this. I would do the nitrogen base. Okay, now, I'm gonna do this upside down. I'm gonna draw this wrong. I'm gonna flip it. There we go, let's make my life a whole lot easier. There we go, okay, so now, here's my nitrogen base. Because it's in reverse, you know how on this side, I did phosphate and then deoxyribose sugar? On this side, I'm gonna do it reverse. I'm gonna do deoxyribose sugar and then the phosphate group. So here's my little house top, my little deoxyribose sugar. Then I'm going to do my phosphate. Notice the angle. So here it is here. Okay. This is still attached at the 5', but see how the 3' is here? That's why this is the 3' side, because the 3' is right. When I flip it over, let me do it this way so you guys can see. You see when I'm looking at the right side up? You see how the 3' is first and the 5' is here? That's why this is the 3' side. So all I'm saying is when you do this side, if I were you, I would flip the paper because I am not that good at drawing upside down. Okay. So, and then you'll do your next one. So I'm going to do, so make sure you line them up. That's why I'm doing the nitrogen base first, to make sure they line up. Okay, so line them up. The deoxyribose sugar is always kind of like even with the nitrogen base. And then your phosphate is always angled. And then attach it. Like that. Okay? All right, so that is part of your assignment this week. So your assignment is to finish up this half of your DNA. You want to finish drawing all of these and then put your letters. Now, do you guys remember? Now you got to think back now. Ready to think back with me? Do you remember the fact that the nitrogen bases, They were connected by a bond. What was the name of that bond? Do you guys remember? Okay, I know some of you guys said it. Hydrogen bond, right? Do you remember that one of these had 3 nitrogen bonds and one only had 2? I wonder how many of you guys remember which one was which. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and give you a hint. All right. So A's with T's, right? They have 2 bonds. And then G's with C's have 3 bonds. 1, 2, 3, 1. There you go. Okay. So when you make the other end of your DNA, make sure you have the correct number of bonds. So this one has 2 bonds. This one has 3 bonds. Okay. There you go. So we're going to count this as like assignment number 1. How's that? We'll say this is assignment number 1. Number 1. Assignment number 1. Okay. And I will have a location for you guys to upload this. So what I want you to do, like I said, finish your DNA on this side. Do your 3' side. Put the correct letter in the box. Please make sure they line up. Do you see how this and this are across from each other? This and this is across from each other. You see that? Do you see how my deoxyribose sugar is across from here? You see how my phosphate is in between? It makes like a zig. See how it's a zigzag line? Zigzag, zigzag, zig. That's what I want yours to look like. That's what your DNA looks like. So be careful on the way you draw it so that you will get a good grade on it. Okay. So finish this side, put the letters, put your bonds, snap a picture and upload it for me. Hopefully you guys will be able to do that. If you are unable to snap a picture and upload it, then come to me during office hours and you can show me through the camera so I can give you a grade for it. Okay. All right. So this is assignment number 1. Now the next video is going to give you assignment number 2, which is going to focus on DNA replication. All right. So that is the end of this video for assignment number 1. All right, guys. Best wishes.